Alrighty, so here's the scoop. Little man, he's still got his two 150-watt light bulbs, and he's got his nocturnal bulb. I'm not sure if I put that in a previous video. He's got improved lighting as of about 2 months ago, because the vet thought he was too cold. And so here's the update on his health situation. He had been, as you saw, kicking desperately, trying to swim down, and he couldn't. So most likely he had some sort of infection, as I understand it, some kind of pneumonia or something. Anyway, he couldn't swim down, but then he took all sorts of antibiotics, and it didn't get any better. He didn't start swimming down, so they were like, why is the antibiotics not working? And so today I brought him in, and they looked at his lungs. They actually did a CT scan, because you can't give a turtle an x-ray. All you find out is they have a shell. So he got a CT scan, which isn't anywhere near as expensive as you would think it would be, but still, I think my priorities list is a little different from other people's, because like right below food, clothing, and shelter is like reptilian CT scan. So I don't know, that probably differentiates me from a lot of people in the world. And speaking of the CT scan, he got it, and then they were like, well, usually when we do this, it's on tortoises. So I don't understand that. So apparently aquatic turtles having a CT scan is kind of special. So they were looking for like something to consider normal. And apparently normal, the closest they could get to another turtle to compare him to was sea turtles, which I thought was so cool. He's basically like a sea turtle. That's how special he is. They don't have a lot of CT scans of side neck turtles, apparently, which I think is a little weird. Like that other people wouldn't be doing this, because obviously he's the best turtle, like the best species ever. But yeah, he's a sea turtle. So I brought him in, and they did the CT scan, and they said his lungs are clear, which is like a miracle and a wonderful thing, because apparently if his lungs had not been clear, it would have been bad, because he's already been on 2 kinds of antibiotics. So my question was, if he used to be kicking and kicking and kicking and not able to swim down, and now his lungs are clear, so I'm thinking there must have been an infection before. I don't understand why he could not swim down, because clearly he was trying. But the theory is that now, instead of having a inability to swim down, it's a behavioral thing. He's choosing not to. So kind of piecing this together from what she said and like what I've noticed in him, it must be that he had some kind of infection that made it so he could not swim down. And the same infection made him not want to eat. So when he was not eating, he got a vitamin A deficiency. And then, since we were worried about the infection, we had him under all these bright, bright lights. And I wasn't really watering the garden well enough. I didn't realize how important humidity was. So that's why his eyes got dried out, and he had a vitamin A deficiency. So the doctor gave us a whole list of things to do. So the theory is, it used to be his problem was an infection, so he could not swim down, and now the problem is a vision problem, and we're pretty sure he could swim down if he wanted to, but he wouldn't, because he can't really see down below. So since the problem has switched from whatever it was, buoyancy, and now it is vision, she gave us the list, and this leads us to why he is in a bucket right now. He's not 100% thrilled, as you can see, but if he's choosing not to swim down, then he needs to be in kind of like a shallow water bathtub so he's not worried about what's down below him. So that way he can be in the water, because he's an aquatic turtle and he was choosing not to be in the water because, as you can see, this water is real deep. So he was like, I'm not going in there, something could sneak up on behind me from below. And so now he's in here and he's supposed to be okay with being in shallow water because he can see everything in the water and he's not going to be scared. So anyway, he's in the bucket. Let me interject at this point that, granted, it's a good thing that buoyancy apparently is not a problem. But since we've switched from A, buoyancy, to B, vision, all I could think of was Mary Ingalls. But he's not going to be Mary Ingalls. He's not. So apparently vitamin A can help. So anyway, he's in this bucket. This is not an organized dialogue at all. I apologize for that. Obviously, I don't plan these things in advance. It's stream of consciousness. But anyway, here he is in his little bucket. And so that was step one. Let's get him swimming. That way he'll be absorbing water and things will be basically better. And hold on, I gotta plug my phone in, so I'm just gonna pause. Wait, I can't pause. Probably can't. Okay, I'm back. So anyway, she gave us this whole list and she wrote it down and I took my own notes. So apparently he needs A, increased humidity. So I watered his ground and he's taking shallow water baths. So check. B, vitamin A. So he's got his eye drops which have vitamin A in them. And he's also got, well, he's supposed to start eating carrots and sweet potatoes and squash and stuff. I haven't really done that yet because he's still getting used to the bathtub, so I was thinking we could wait 24 hours. C, antibacterial eye drops. So he has to take a bath once every 12 hours. Because the vet was like, what's your schedule like? Do you think you can give him a 30-minute bath every day? And so I briefly explained my emotional commitment to the turtle, and she was like, oh, good. So you can give him 2 30-minute baths a day, and that'll be even better. And so once every 12 hours, he needs a bath, and we're going to stagger. So one bath time, he'll get his vitamin A turtle drops from ZooMed. This is them. They're amazing. So they have vitamin A supplement. And then 12 hours later, he gets his antibacterial eye drops in case there's a secondary infection. And then 12 hours later back to vitamin A, and then 12 hours later back to antibacterial, and so on and so forth. Because apparently there's a possibility of a secondary infection, but she really was not worried about infection. She was like, it's behavioral, no longer a buoyancy issue. So that's cool. Okay, and soaks. This is obviously all interconnected. And a better diet. So the I may have mentioned the turtle jello. I'm supposed to make jello out of like tuna water and stuff. And so I have been doing that, but he didn't want to eat it. So I need to be doing that, and if he's in shallow water, then he won't really care that the turtle jello does not soak. So it can just be not soaking and he can be okay with that. And that'll be even better because usually he doesn't eat stuff that doesn't float. But if he's down on the ground and the stuff is down on the ground and it's as tall as the water, then he'll be like, hey, I can't tell if it's floating or not, so I'll just eat it. So anyway, he needs A, jello, B, minnows. There's one minnow in there. He's usually, as you know, a sea monster, but right now he's kind of just mad, so he's not catching the minnow. Lucky for the minnow. And C, vegetables. Jello, minnows, vegetables. So the minnow's the only thing that's in there right now from his new diet regimen, because he's still getting used to the bathtub. So we've still got the pellets, which pellets are supposed to be kind of a fourth thing that he'll eat, but they're not that important or something. So usually they're all he eats. Right now he's not eating anything because he's mad. But if he were going to eat something, it would be pellets. And so I want him to be eating something because he really hasn't eaten in like 48 hours. But apparently turtles can go like a couple of months. So yeah, every 12 hours he takes a bath like this. And he needs to eat Jello, minnows, yellow, orange vegetables, and a little bit of pellets. So that's the scoop from the veterinarian. It was like an hour and 15 minutes to get there, and then 2 hours to get back because we had to get gas, and we got, well, there was like a traffic accident and we had to pull off on an exit, and weirdly I spent the entire drive trying to find a drive-through, and there was 0 drive-throughs, and I was not going to leave him in the tank, and I forgot to eat food, so we took some detours, and so he was not a happy camper by the time we got home, because he had to stay in his little tiny little box. Let me show you his box. It is this big. He does not like it at all, which I can't really blame him. So that was his trip. Everybody said how cute he was. And I said, yeah, he's a rugged individualist. And they laughed. And I found out that if you're going to take a reptile to the veterinarian, you should go to veterinary school, because where I went, like some 4th-year veterinary student comes out and looks at him, and apparently they're so excited about having a CT scan of a side-neck turtle somewhere in their files to compare to sea turtles, that they're just like, okay, we'll give you a massive discount. And so this was extremely exciting, because now I can move on to like my secondary priorities, like food, clothing, and shelter. So here's him swimming around. He was kicking frantically, as you could tell. The minnow's still in there. Bless his heart. I've had the same 6 minnows forever and ever because he wasn't eating them, and now they're big and fat. So I was going to save the big fat ones for when he was definitely eating, but I didn't make it to PetSmart today. So I'm going to go to PetSmart, in the next couple of days and get like 3 dozen minnows and just throw them all in there with him. And he's just going to like go crazy with minnows. Aren't you, little buddy? He's starting to calm down. He might eat a turtle snack. Are you going to eat the turtle snack, huh? Maybe if we're real quiet, huh? He's a little shy. He knows when he's on camera. Wow, the video quality's gone drastically down. It's like yellow. I don't know what happened. I'm going back up here. I love you, little man. So that's a health update. In other news, I've noticed that one thing I really like about him is he's always really in the moment. So like before the scan, like 2 days before, I was like on YouTube because like hospitals and stuff. See, he's scratching his eyes still. That's not good. Like hospitals and stuff put out all these videos like why you should not freak out when you're getting a CT scan, and they show the picture of the happy person and they wheel them into the happy CT scanner and they're like, look, it just looks like a friendly donut, it's not scary at all. And I'm like, okay, I guess it's not that scary. And like in the meantime, Tannin's in here just chilling. He's like, whatever, I don't even care. And so then he was in the car. He was upset because he was in the car. And then at the vet, he was upset because they were giving him a syringe full of vitamin A, and literally the contents of the syringe were about the same size as one of his front legs there. I mean, I'm not even kidding. It was the hugest shot. It would have been huge for a human, but like, I just started cracking up and I looked at the size of that compared to him, which might have been insensitive, but I mean, dang, that would have been like, for a human, I don't know. I can't even imagine. Probably like a 2-liter Coke bottle. So he took the shot and he was a real trooper. But he's real in the moment. So he doesn't like the shot. And he doesn't like the bathroom because he knows that's where he got all his shots. Because I didn't want him to be scared of the bedroom, so I gave him all his shots when I was doing them at home in the bathroom. So he can be traumatized a little bit for the long term, but basically, he's just like, right now he's just in the bathtub. That's all. And then when he's at the vet, he's just at the vet. He's not thinking like, man, when I go home, I'm gonna like check all these things off my priorities list. Like, I'm gonna burrow, and then I'm gonna hide behind a plant, and then I'm gonna burrow again. He doesn't do that. He's just, if there's nothing bad happening to him right now, he's not going to fret about the future. So I think that's a really good quality. Like, look at the birds of the air. They're not worried about where they're going to get their food tomorrow. That's how turtles approach life too. And so that's good. I've also noticed that there's really nothing I could do, say, or think that could make him love him any less. Because a dog, I've explained this so many times, like a dog has no sense of self. A dog, if you tell him he's bad, he will be like, oh wow, you must be the best person in the whole wide world, and you're beating me because I'm a dog and I'm a bad dog. And I mean, like, seriously, there's nothing wrong with you, dog. You're just being beaten by a crappy, horrible master. But he has no sense of self. He has no self-confidence within himself to do that. He just feels like, wow, whatever my master is telling me about me is clearly true about me. And then cats, you can make cats feel bad about themselves. Not as much. Cats are a little cooler that way. But they can still pretty much like be scared and hide under tables and stuff and feel real submissive and, But like a turtle, like one day he just thought to himself, I'll hatch now. And so he did. Like a mammal's got to be like coordinating this with the mother's plans, right? Like, okay, mom, we got to go to the hospital, and then the mom's got to like be a participant in the process or whatever. I've never been through this process as a mother, but apparently that's how it works. But when you're a turtle, you're just like, today doesn't really feel like a good day to hatch. Hold up, now it's the next day, I think I'll hatch. So he just hatched. He didn't need any parents to tell him how to be a turtle. He didn't need any parents to tell him whether he was a good turtle or a bad turtle. He actually doesn't need society at all. He's just like, wow, if you want to be my friend, you can be my friend. Oh wait, you have a low opinion of me? Okay, that means you're an idiot, because obviously it's not even going to cross his mind that there could be a problem with him. Which I think makes him drastically more fun to be around than like a golden retriever or a dog in general. I mean, I love dogs when they're little or when they're big and they're outside or whatever, but they're just not as cool to have as a friend, because if you tell the dog like you suck, then the dog's gonna be like, oh my gosh, now I suck, and then you're like, oh no, I broke the dog's heart and stuff. But it's like impossible to break a turtle's heart because he just knows he's awesome. So that's a good kind of friend to have. Like, if I screw up, he's not gonna ever hate himself. Why would he? He might hate me, but like, he's cool with himself. See, look how confident he is right now. Hey, buddy! Yeah. Also, I love his little ears. I don't think I can show his little ears, but they're just like teeny tiny little circles on the sides of his head. And I love that. See how he's looking up at me right now? I think that means the vitamin A is helping out his eyes. Is the minnow still in there, little buddy? Huh? Is the minnow still in there? in other news, I have been trying to find any information on reptilian emotional health, because like I've Googled this and I've gone on message boards and I've done everything, and pretty much like professionals will put out lots of research on turtle health, period. So like he needs a lot of calcium because obviously he's got a lot of bone structure. But they don't really talk about like how to tell what emotions he's experiencing. So the most I can find on this is that he needs UVB lighting in addition to his heat lighting. And that'll make him happier. But it's really hard. So like I'm having trouble figuring out whether he's scared or angry, for instance. So I've been really spending a lot of time with him trying to figure out what he's feeling at a given time. Or like if turtle emotions even have direct parallel to human emotions. Like maybe he's some third category, not scared or angry. I don't even know. So that would be, I mean, like I've tried so hard. Like I even, because Steve Irwin was like a massively influential character in my childhood. So I emailed Australia Zoo and they were like, "You're so cute. Go to research institutions and see if they put out any journal entries." And so I went on like EBSCOhost, you know, because I was still a Plymouth State student at the time. And I Googled like, you know, turtle emotional health. And there's just not a lot. So, I mean, if I had it all to do over again, I probably still wouldn't go into herpetological psychology. But somebody needs to become a herpetological psychologist, just in case you're wondering, like, what should I do with my life? So I love this little turtle, and I love snuggling my little turtle and putting him on my chest and he falls asleep. And I will keep people posted on his vitamin A intake and his vision problems and whether the buoyancy thing has become a behavioral issue and all of that. But apparently, I just used up all my storage. It's definitely hard to find, like, a socially appropriate time to go off on a 30-minute monologue about my turtle. So that's why I'm here on YouTube, because like, usually if you're interacting with even the dearest and sweetest of friends, you can only pull off about 10 minutes at a time talking about your turtle. So, and then you have to move to like, you know, their lives, and I don't even know. You just got to move to like socially appropriate conversation topics. So this was my little half-hour discussion of how fantastically awesome turtles are, and everybody should have an aquatic turtle, and I don't understand why the CT scan place didn't have more CT scans of him, but he's really happy he could be such a help to research. Are you kicking? See, I can't tell what he's thinking right now. Is he thinking, "Yay, I'm in the water so I can kick and kick and kick and it's so great, I'm not in the dark, deep water, I can kick and kick"? Or is he thinking like, "I'm trying to escape"? I don't know. Hey, sweet pea. Do you know how much I love you? Oh, I also found out he can suck water up through his tail like a straw. Is that not the coolest thing ever? He's so different from a human. I like that. He's cold-blooded. It's like getting to know somebody completely different from you. Kind of like a cross-cultural situation, except really cross-cultural because he's a reptile. I love you! Yeah. Okay, I seriously gotta go. I will let you know if he likes carrots and sweet potatoes. I had to email the vet to see if the sweet potatoes had to be cooked. I had a lot of questions for the vet. Okay, I'll talk to you later. Bye, YouTube.